Hey there everybody, this is Sasquatch, otherwise known as Gavisas, coming to you once again with another video commentary. I do apologize once again for the incredibly bad quality of the last video. I think that's probably the worst of them all. I don't know what I'm doing, folks. I think my strategy for uploading this one will be I will check all the different formatting types that I can find, that I have available to me, and whichever one takes the longest to process will be the one that I use, in the hopes that taking longer will result in higher quality. I am kind of shooting in the dark here. I don't know what I'm doing anymore. Not that I ever really did in the first place. But that's not really the point, as never that technical stuff is, nor is even the baleful Giganox being slaughtered in the background. I'm not really sure. It's probably could have gone either way on this one. I am not very good at any games that I play, but also not the point. Today, the topic that I would like to cover, the questions that I would like to answer from me, for me, because no one's commented on my videos yet. Kind of makes me wonder why I'm even doing this, but it's for fun, right? For fun. Anyway, the topic I'd like to address is focus on, or proper chronological focus. I suppose that's a very long, technical, long-winded term. Basically just kind of being able to move on from the past. Again, I am a person who interacts with a great deal of other people on a very regular basis, all sorts of different backgrounds, and this person did this for a living, and this person does that, and this person, I don't know, went overseas and killed Nazis in World War II or something like that. I just meet a lot of different people in my normal everyday life. And one of the things that I found very interesting is the attitudes of people in relation to the things that they talk about. Usually you find people, and there are people on both sides of this, that are either incredibly happy or they're incredibly depressed. And, I mean, it's very easy to just kind of write off like, oh, okay, well, the depressed person just either needs help, or, in my very selfish way of thinking, sometimes just like, well, maybe that's not someone I want to hang around with anymore. But it goes a little bit deeper than that. When you actually talk with them, you listen to what they have to say and what they talk about and what makes up the majority of their conversation. There's a couple parallels that I've noticed over my very brief years, and that people who tend to have a brighter outlook, people who are those people that you want to hang around with, tend to have a very forward-minded, future-centric way of speaking. It's like, well, maybe this happened, but this is what's going to happen next week, or this is what's going to happen in the future. This is how I'm going to improve my situation. This is how my situation is going to get better. This is basically just finding whatever sort of bright ray of hope, or even if they're not in a bad situation, which I don't know why I constantly assume people to be in bad situations. I guess it's a failing on my part, but or just, I don't know, maybe I'm overly pessimistic. That's probably it. But you talk to some of these people, and they would ordinarily either have every reason in the world to be apparently like me and be pessimistic, or things are actually going well for them. And they're well-adjusted adults facing life's challenges one day at a time, and they just have a much more bright outlook because they are actually looking forward, as opposed to people who are not so incredibly enthusiastic about what is to come, because by their conversation you wouldn't be able to tell they're even thinking about it in the slightest. More pessimistic people tend to be people who are stuck in the past, or are continually bringing up slights that have happened to them over the years or recently or whatever. I find this incredibly interesting, in that it's almost a self-defeating sort of mindset. It's like, well, nothing good has ever happened to me, so nothing good ever will, so I'm just going to sit here and gripe about all the bad stuff that has happened and prepare myself for or try and brace myself or garner sympathy from other people, so that the next time the bad stuff happens, I won't be in it by myself, or this, that, or just not really making any sort of actions or taking any sort of active roles in trying to improve what the future might bring, but just accepting or even almost cursing themselves into having a darker experience in the future. Well, this happened, or this person stabbed me in the back, or this person betrayed me, so I'm sure everyone will from here on out, and nothing good will ever happen to me, and my boss is a jerk, and this, that, and he just doesn't see my value, and he doesn't like me, and he's trying to get me fired from my job, and all the other people there, they don't like me either, and I'm just the most valuable person there, and they just don't understand that I'm the one who's holding all this together. And it's not to say that they aren't useful in whatever position they'd be in that situation. I mean, that workplace just kind of seems most prevalent among the people that I've spoken with, among their gripes. But not to say that they aren't valuable or even the most valuable, but they just have such a negative outlook on everything that even if they are being recognized for the deeds that they've done, or the skill that with which they carry out their job, it almost makes you wonder if they would even really notice if they were being recognized for the good things that they were doing. One man that comes specifically to mind, I'm not going to say his name, not that any of you would ever know him, but protect the guilty. He has, without a doubt, one of the most negative mindsets I've ever heard in my entire life. You cannot talk to him for more than 2 or 3 minutes before he's bringing back up again just how dark and dismal his life is, and how his family is mistreating him, and how everyone at work is just out to get him, and no one appreciates him, and he'll never be anything, and you might as well not even try, because everything is just always going to go negatively, and everything is just this great big depressing ball of crap that just lands on him every single day, and everyone just doesn't get his problem. They don't understand his plight. They don't understand that he's trying his best, and he's the most valuable person in the world. But and it just goes on and on and on for hours and hours and hours, and it is almost oblivious to the fact that he's not that he has the ability to change the situation. I mean, not to get into great details, but his family situation is stuff that he could change, that he could have changed while it was getting bad. Now, he has a very bad situation family-wise. But it's something that he could have changed along the way so that it wouldn't be so bad now. Or it's something that he could even affect right now so as to try and remedy some of the mistakes that were in his past. But rather than devote brain power to thinking about that, or physical effort in trying to remedy those situations, or trying to create a better future going forward, he's stuck in this mindset that it's always going to be bad, and so he shouldn't even try. And all he wants to do now is just garner sympathy for his bad situation. And the same goes for his work. He's I'm not going to get into too many details, but he works in a manual labor job, and he's getting older, and he isn't able to get around as easily as he used to be. And so when that sort of thing happens, people in upper management will recognize it, and they'll be like, hey, you probably don't have too many more heavy lifts going on, or they are thinking of the future. They're like, well, there's probably not going to be too much longer that we can pay this guy to do the job that he's doing. But there's rules and things and stuff like that that prevent them from just firing people, in most cases, most places, or specific like discrimination things. You can't fire old people because they're old. But and I mean they're justified. It's a business. It's a for-profit business. It's how whoever owns it makes their livelihood and feeds their family. But rather than himself going out and getting more skills or trying something else to to earn money and provide for his family or provide for himself or anything other needs that he would have, he's still stuck in that mindset of everyone's out to get him, and so it becomes increasingly more negative the longer he goes on. And to me, it just seems incredibly futile mindset to get stuck in, when the only reason that there's no hope is because you refuse to acknowledge the hope that already is there. And it's just a little bit of effort, a little bit of extra elbow grease that has to be applied to a situation in order to make it turn out better. Yeah. This is kind of an incomplete thought. I'll probably catch more of it tomorrow, or whatever the next time is that I post, maybe next week. Just kind of take that focus off the past and look forward towards the future, or even into the present. Anything to remove yourself from the disappointments that you've already had. Anyway, thank you all for watching. Like down below, subscribe to the channel, comment, tell me what you think. What are some disappointments that you've had? What are some things that you're looking forward to? I prefer the second one, but I will accept the former. Anyway, thank you all for watching. Have a great day, and goodbye.